Namita. I'm delighted to be chatting to you. How are you?
I'm good, Terry. How are you?
I'm very good, thanks. Is the sore throat? You had a sore throat midweek. Is that all? You all clear now? All fine?
Yeah, all clear. Actually, it has been raining in Uganda for last whole week. It
Yeah.
was it was very, very cold, and all of a sudden I got the sore throat. I don't know how,
Oh
and
dear.
it just started getting worse. But now I'm good. I
Yeah.
think I'm good.
Not COVID.
No,
No, no.
I didn't have any fever. It was just that I had an itchy throat and I was not able to talk a lot.
Oh dear. Did you try gargling with salt water? It's horrible,
Yes,
but
I did try that. Yeah, it helped.
it's an
I just took some
anaesthetic.
warm water.
Yeah. Yeah. So tell me, how's life in Entebbe, Uganda?
It's pretty smooth, I would say. I was living in Mumbai, India before this,
Oh yeah.
and there it was very, very hectic. It was like we were working almost 9, 10 hours a day. We were traveling for 4 hours, and then when I came to my apartment, it was like I just come to sleep.
Oh dear. Yeah.
And then morning I wake up and then again I'm running. There was a lot of hustle, but here it's very easy going. Like you have the offices and the houses are nearby, so we don't have a lot of travel time. And I quit my job basically. I used to work in Mumbai. Now I'm not working. I am here with my son.
Yeah.
I'm raising my son, and I'm also pursuing my hobby, my passion of writing. So
Brilliant.
I don't go out to work, but I'm managing my schedule at home, and then I also get a lot of family time because
Okay.
my husband's office is not too far away now.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to travel a lot.
That's good.
So I like it better here.
Okay. In Mumbai, were you working in IT? Were you a software developer, an engineer?
Yes,
Yes.
yes. Yes, I was a software analyst. I started working in 2007,
Hmm.
and I have worked with companies like Infosys, Accenture, CGI, and my last stint was with JP Morgan Chase.
Oh,
So
big
I
companies.
all through. Hmm?
All big blue chip companies.
Kind of.
Yeah.
So all throughout, I have worked as a mainframe developer. I was into mainframe support systems. So yes, a software analyst for close to 14 years, and
Yeah.
now housewife turned writer.
You look happy.
A lot, I would say. Like, it's not that I did not love my job, I did, or I disliked anything about it. It was good. It was not that bad. I loved going out, like going to the office, meeting people. It was nice, but there was something that I was missing. More importantly, after I had my son, I thought that I'm not able to give him enough time that he deserves, and um, then I was also feeling that this is not something that I want to do all my life.
Mm,
So destiny had it in it. Maybe my husband got this opportunity to come to Entebbe, and then I thought, okay, maybe this is a blessing.
mm,
Maybe it is destined that I get an opportunity to quit, and I quit,
mm.
and that is where my life changed.
Oh, good on you. Yeah. Do you find that with your writing, that your background, writing code has helped using the logic and the elegance and the pure, the science of the code? Does that help with the writing in any way?
uh,
No? Yes?
Um, Not really.
No?
Actually, I was not writing too many codes. I was into support. So support is basically like when there's a bug or
Yeah,
when
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a problem or when there's an issue, and only
yeah,
that time support people are on it.
yeah.
So I did not get to write too many codes, but I would say that yes, sometimes it's like when you're writing fiction, you need logic somewhere, because even if it's fiction, it has to be relatable.
Mm,
It cannot be like anything that you're imagining, you're
yeah,
just writing it down. if i
yeah.
if i write something that, even if it's fantasy, it has to be relatable, right? People have to agree with it that yes, this can happen. Oh yes, this is the world I want to be in. It cannot be anything xyz that I'm trying to put. So yes, of course, logic has to happen everywhere. Logic has to be there everywhere.
Mm, yeah. That's clear enough. Yeah. So tell me about the Young Achiever Award from India and Uganda. What's this about?
Yeah.
What?
Okay, so what happened was, near about Women's Day this year, High Commission of India in Uganda, they
Yeah,
had organized a award ceremony for all women entrepreneurs in Uganda, Indian
oh,
women entrepreneurs.
yeah,
So I got this poster. I saw this poster on Twitter, and they were inviting all the women entrepreneurs to at least enroll so that they get to know that how many Indian women are there who are working over here. And then they got around 300 applications coming in, and it was really, overwhelming. And it was so nice to see so many women who did not confine to their homes and who were trying to do something out of their free time. And there were like 300 of us who came together, and we got to know each other that yes, everyone is trying to do something of them. Then they decided to give out awards based on what kind of entrepreneurship they were doing, and that is when they gave me an Young Achievers Award, because the reason being, they said that it's never too late to start something new. And I started this writing thing. I started pursuing this around after 14 years of having a completely different career.
Yeah.
So that is what amazed them, and they thought that yes, that is the reason that I was a bit shocked, like, why Young Achievers? I don't think I'm young. That is what I told them, that I don't think I'm young. And they said, no, it's not that thing. Young
Yeah.
is not about the age. Young is about being having that confidence to start something at any point of time.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be worried about what age you are or what stage of life you are in. You should have that thing that yes, I wanted to do that and I did it. So that is where I got this award, and I'm really thankful that I at least enrolled there and I got to know so many people.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, well done. Can I ask, how did you connect with your publisher company, Ink Feathers? How did you connect with them? Did you write first? Did you write them a speculation letter and say, I'm writing fiction, would you be interested in publishing? How did you connect?
Okay, so Ink Feathers Publishing was the first publisher that I connected with. That is through Instagram. So on Instagram, I saw that they had. I visited the website through Instagram. They were having this anthologies where you can submit your stories for the anthologies. They have designated editors. So every editor had their own genre or their own theme of a book. And if that theme suits you, you can go ahead and write a story for them. And if it's selected, you can get published in that anthology. So that is how I got connected with them. And the best part, what I liked about them was they were ready to pay royalty. Brilliant. In return of your work, because when I started writing, I did not know like how should I get my work published or who should I approach. And in that process, I have paid a lot of people initially.
For edits?
I also got scammed 1-2 times.
Oh dear.
Where people said that you give us so and so amount and we'll get you published, and your story will be out in the magazine, your story will be out in the book, but nothing really happened. And I really felt like, no, that's kind of not right. That I write something, I put effort, and then I also pay you to publish. That I later on I felt that no, that should not be the correct process. Actually, it should be that if I write, it's not about how much money I'm earning, but still I should be the one who should be on the receiving end. So then when I came across Ink Feathers, I felt like no, they sound genuine, and I should be trying to do something for them, something with them. So I submitted my first piece of fiction with them. It was a story about a woman. So it was a small, like 1,500 word story. So they selected it, and then I also saw that they had an option of becoming an editor with them, where you can publish your anthology. You have your own theme, and you go out and find authors. If you get authors, you can collate all the stories and publish your own book. And that is where I decided, okay, let me try being an editor with them. And I gave an idea that since my niche is humor, I said that I want to publish a book with a lot of humor stories. And definitely I got 13 authors who were ready to give their piece. And we then went ahead and released this book, A Jar Full of Joys, which has 13 funny stories, and they are so relatable. I really think people should try to like pick that book more. And after that, after Ink Feathers, I started publishing other books like my novellas, that is It's Funny, Oops, I Mean Funny, Who Ate Our Food. That is where it went later on. But then Ink Feathers was something that I stumbled upon on Instagram.
Okay, you're lucky. I think what you mentioned then about getting scammed, a couple of other writers have said that. When people are new to writing, they sort of, they're very sort of trusting, aren't they? You know, you trust people who say, oh, the writing's brilliant. Just give me a little bit of money and we'll publish your work. I think a lot of people, they need to do a lot more research, I think, before they agree.
Yeah.
Vanity
Yeah, I
publishing.
know. I mean, see, that is the problem, that because if you're not from that field and you are just going out, and nowadays it's like on internet you get a lot of information, but there's also a problem that they if that information is genuine or not, you would not know.
True.
So that is the thing. So you have to do a lot of research, and at the time, since I was just trying out, so I tried out everything, and the thing was that okay, I was able to afford at that time, so I just like it's $100, okay, no problem, I can give it out. It's a $200, it's okay. But for some authors, there can be a problem that they write very well, but they cannot even afford those $100. So the only thing that I learned from all this process is that whoever asks you to pay to publish, do not go ahead, because writing is something that you don't need to pay to publish. You should be paid for getting published, because it's, as a writer, it's my effort. Even if I have also heard comments like, what is writing? You're just sitting at your laptop and you're doing nothing. You're just like looking at it and you're doing something on the keyboard. That's not true. Even if like I'm sitting like this and watching the sky, I am working.
Thinking.
I am creating something in my head. Right. So that is what a writer's job is. It's not like for that 20 minutes or 30 minutes when I am on my laptop doing something, I am doing work. No. A writer is working constantly. They're thinking, they're plotting, they're doing something, and then finally they dump everything on the laptop. So that effort needs to be recognized, and that is where the pay thing comes out. Like, for all that effort, the 24 hours of the work that my brain is doing cannot be measured in $100 or $200. Right. So that is where I feel that all the new authors, whoever is out there, if ever anyone comes to you and says that you pay to get published, no, that's wrong. Please do not pay, unless there's some other kind of vanity scheme where there are some vanity publishers also who do partnership publishing, where you pay half and they pay half and they pay royalty. That's a different thing altogether. But then do your research. If you are shelling out any money, even if it's a half a cent, do your research where you're putting your money.
That's great
advice. Very important.
Yeah, I totally agree. Okay, looking at last year, you had a total of 6 books published, 4 by yourself and 2 with collaboration. The Jar Full of Joys, and another one you've collaborated with other writers.
Yeah, that was A Dead Man Talking.
Okay.
That was my first horror story. So basically,
horror with humor, is it? It's a humorous horror story.
No, only horror. It was only horror. Yeah. So my books, so I started writing on my Facebook page. So I would say that, when I started writing, it was around 8 or 9 years back. I created a Facebook page and I started like jotting down small, funny, everyday husband-wife banters and whatever happened in my house. I used to like, whatever funny incident was there, I just dump it on the Facebook, and I got some response. People were loving it.
Good.
Then when I started writing over here, someone told me that, why don't you revisit that blog and try to create something, try to create a book out of it. And I said, okay, that's a good idea. I can start, at least for starters, I can do that. And I collected all the stories and some new stories, and I created my first book. It's funny. Oops, I mean funny. That that book is all of short story collection. And then after that, one of my friends told me that, why don't you try writing a horror book for me, because I am not a humor person. I want to read something horror. Try writing for me. I said, okay, I'll try. And then I started writing a horror story, which was supposed to be Who Ate Our Food, but compelled out of habit, I couldn't write horror. It tended towards comedy. So somehow it turned out to be a horror comedy. But then, since I promised my friend that yes, I will write something horror for her, I went ahead and wrote a short story which got published in collaboration with Kyoto Publishers in the book Dead Man Talking. And other than that, my pet project was Keen Little Cuckoo. It's a book for preschoolers. It's an alphabet storybook where you can learn alphabets with adjectives, colors, shapes, everything. Like, it's a story, mama baby story, and it's a cute one where they're just talking and learning things. So that was my pet project, and that was in fact my first project which I started writing, but it got, because of the illustrations and all, it got published later than the other books. But that was the first thing.
Who did the illustrations and the book covers? They're superb. Who did
They
that? Did you?
probably
The publishers?
no, the publishers did it because I am not a sketch person. I cannot do that. I can only write. You tell me to write, I can write 100 pages for you, but I cannot draw a single line. So this covers and everything, these are designed by the publishers, and they have done such a wonderful job because just looking at the cover, it's like I feel like I want to read it again and again.
It's talking about YouTube. You've got your own podcast as well. Can you tell me about that? I was listening to a few of them today.
Oh yes, so that also started in a gist. I was talking to one of my friends the other day when the first thing that first topic was about the difference between a working woman and working mom and how stay-at-home mom.
Yeah,
So we were
housewife.
discussing we were discussing the pros and cons of staying at home and working, and that is where I felt that everything people, they have their own perspective based on what they have done. So I had done both. For the first 2.5 years after I had my son, I was working, and I knew what are the challenges that a working mom faces. And then after I quit, I was staying at home and I was raising him, and at that time I understood that it's not easy staying at home. So both have their own challenges, and only because you are not in that situation, you shouldn't be judging someone.
Yeah.
So that is where I thought that, okay, this is a topic I want to talk about. And the first podcast, when I recorded my first podcast, discussing the challenges of both these roles and knowing that none of this is easy. And then I started talking more about motherhood. I wanted to speak about the motherhood challenges, that what mental issues moms face, because there's loneliness and there's this hustle where they have to justify their profession and also give the whole time to their child, and they're always juggling in this mind that I may not be a good mother, I'm not doing good things. So that mental issues I wanted to discuss, that what all of a woman faces. So that is where I started this podcast, Mother and Mind. Even the name I gave it, Mother and Mind.
Yeah, that's a great name. Are you getting feedback from listeners? Are you getting people appreciating the work?
I did not get any feedback from the listeners per se, but sometimes the blogs that I have written, on that I have got comments and some 1 or 2 emails where people said that they really liked listening to what I was saying, because it was very raw and it was straight from the heart, where they could really connect and they could understand, especially the mothers. They were working mothers from my ex companies, and they were saying like, yes, we could understand what you're trying to say. And it's good that someone is voicing it out.
Yeah. The name of the blog, I'm just looking at it now. Is this the pent it rather than key it?
Yes, pen it rather key it.
Key it? Is that like key scratching a car? Is that what you mean?
No, it's the key of the keyboard.
Oh, sorry. I was thinking, instead of being angry, write it down. Don't go scratching cars. No.
So this name, my husband gave this name to my blog. So once I was just like scratching my head and I was thinking that what it should be, like pen it, and then he said, no, actually you are not using your pen, you're using the keys. So it shouldn't be, you're using the keys from your keyboard. So you cannot call it you're penning your stories, you're keying your stories. So that is where we gave birth to this name, that pen it, no, rather key it.
Okay, that's a great name.
So that is how you split it.
We're talking about pens and keyboards. Do you write stories? Do you write them in longhand? Do you write them in a notebook first, or do you go straight to the keyboard?
No, I write it on the notebook first. I do not write the whole story on the notebook, but whatever comes to my mind, if I just like talking now, I got some idea, I'll just go, I'll just write it as fast as I can so that I don't forget it. Okay. And then when I revisit my diary, and then I take my laptop and start drafting it properly. Okay. But my first go to is my notebook.
Yeah, I do myself. I think by the time when you actually type it up, you're more or less in a second edit. You know, you've gone through an editing phase by your thoughts, and then the paper, and then the keyboard. I've saw on Twitter you're writing a rom-com at the minute. Is that your latest work in progress? A romantic comedy?
Yeah. So this is like, till now I have only written novellas. They're very short books, but I wanted to, like, my dream, I have a dream that I want to see my books in the bookstores. Like if I am traveling back to India and I
See the
come
airport.
across a bookstore, I want to see my book over there. So this is my dream. Like I want this to come true. So someone told me that novellas don't sell in bookstores. So you need to have a full-fledged, nice, big 250, 200-page book. So I said, okay, I take that. I'll do it. So that is where I started writing this rom-com, and it's already 52,000 words.
Wow.
It's edited, polished, proofread, and now I'm looking for publishers.
The other work that you've got, the children's stories, the humorist books, have you been approached by anyone to create some merchandise, toys or gifts or things based on the characters in the books?
I did try to do that with It's Funny, Oops, I'm in Funny, but it didn't really work out. But then, yeah, I think maybe like someday when my characters get very, very, very famous globally and people are loving it, maybe we'll have merchandise also. Let's see. It's again, this is all like a dreamy phase where I have these things going on in my mind where I think that this will happen, this might happen. And again, the merchandise thing that you said, yes, this is also one of my dreams, that one of my characters, especially from It's Funny, Oops, I'm in Funny, the characters do not have names in that book. Only the lead character, who is the narrator, her name is Anu. Other than that, all the other characters, they are either Mr. Husband or Mr. Tots, Mrs. Umpire Auntie, Mrs. Upset. So I have not given names to any of the characters. They are just like depending on the mood, what they portray or how they are. So that way I have given them names. Okay. So maybe if one of them gets famous.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be brilliant. It really would. Can I ask you about social media platform? We've connected on Twitter. It looks like you're also obviously you're a Facebook user and Instagram. Which works the best for you? Do you use one for like your personal observations, or is there any in particular that you use to promote the writing?
I think Twitter worked better for me because I connected with a lot of writers on Twitter. Other than that, actually every social media platform has its own usage. Or for example, LinkedIn. I observed that on LinkedIn, it is more about there are writers, there are freelancers, and there are authors and publishers over there, but they're mostly who are doing freelancing, and they'll come and tell you stories that how they were able to get the gigs and what can be done, and mostly motivational stuff that I personally felt reading those posts. Facebook is mostly personal. Everyone's pictures are there, and about section, my wedding, my vacation, my this, my that. That's all about Facebook. Instagram is good if you know how to dance.
Just
dance and
I don't know how to dance.
Yeah, you can dance and you can make some reels and you can do these transitions like this, like you're changing dresses. And if you're good at that, you're good at editing videos. Instagram is good. Other than that, if you're like micro blogger and you just want to dump all your thoughts, Twitter I think works best because I can write whatever is on my mind and then I can connect with people, and I get a lot of engagement on Twitter compared to other platforms because I am neither a dancer nor a motivational speaker. So the other platforms haven't worked for me till now, but who knows in future. But I would say I prefer Twitter.
You've got your blue tick as well, haven't you? That was, it's quite
yes.
That's quite something, that getting the blue tick. It's difficult. So you're a genuine.
I got rejected twice, but I don't know. Now that I have it, I feel it was not difficult. But when I was trying, I did feel it was difficult.
Do you think getting that Young Achiever Award, do you think that helped as well with getting the Twitter verification, the blue tick?
Yes, because Twitter looks at your what you say
achievements.
How much you are recognized and how many people, what all your achievements are. So I think, yes, that also somewhere helped me. And my books, because my books were published and there were a lot of Google links. If I went and searched for my name, I was able to get some Google links where the articles were published about my books. So that somewhere helped me get this blue tick.
Your books, are they available in different languages? Can you speak different languages? Can you speak Ugandan?
No, not yet. There's no languages Ugandan. There's a language called Luganda over here.
Uganda.
So Luganda, and people basically speak French more over here.
Yeah.
And so, but I maybe like when my son starts learning French in school, maybe I'll join him. I'll take classes from him and I learn French. But other than that, I can speak Indian regional languages like Marathi and Hindi. So those languages are there, what I know apart from English.
Yeah.
And my books are still in English.
I was going to ask about
I
that. Is there
hope
any
so.
translated versions?
No, they aren't translated.
Okay. What advice would you give to a new writer? I know you mentioned earlier about being aware of the pitfalls from vanity publishers. But
Yes.
what are advice in general for a new writer?
Keep writing. Don't be afraid that people are going to reject it or people are not going to like it, because when I initially started, I felt that people might not like what I'm writing, but then I gradually understood that for every kind of writing there is an audience. Like for humor there's an audience, for horror there's a audience, for thriller there's a audience. So it's not necessary that what you write everyone in the world will be able to connect, but there will be an audience for you. So just because someone said that they do not connect with that kind of content does not mean that you're not a good writer. So whatever is your niche, whatever you think that you can write better, go ahead and write it. Because I write humor. Humor comes naturally to me, but there's so many people who have told me that they cannot write humor. It's very difficult for them, but I never found it difficult.
Yeah.
Writing humor was like, it's okay, I can write it. I never felt that kind of challenges while writing it. But then if you ask me to write a thriller, I can't. But I know authors who can they can just plot something in their mind and they can write murder mysteries, and it's so fabulous that you can't predict what's going to happen next. So that does not make me a less of a writer just because I don't write thrillers, right? So that is what I would like to tell every new author or every inspiring author. Whatever you know you can write, you are good at, go ahead and put it out. There is certainly your audience for your writing also.
That's great advice. Do you know, it seems clear you seem to be generally a very cheerful person. You can see why the humor comes through. You look positive and, as I say, very cheerful.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, mostly everyone says that. Maybe that is the reason I have
Happy. Yeah, the smile lines.
Maybe that's why I have these two small, bubbles over here.
Namita, I've thoroughly enjoyed this chat with you, and I'm delighted that we've connected. But let's keep in touch as we have been.
Sure.